Hey, what's going on? It's your podcast, weekly podcast on Friday with your boy Christian Ortiz.
My name is Pires, as per usual.
As per usual, and this is our podcast for today. This is the channel and the podcast you're going to be hearing about, of course, business, small business ideas, business knowledge, anything we're going to be able to help you with business, along with health and wellness channel. And then, of course, we always have our what's going on now in the U.S. today topic and miscellaneous, such as challenges, drafts. We had a phenomenal podcast last week with the draft of
Actors.
What was it?
Movies.
Actors and movies. Maybe we'll try. Maybe I'll come up with something today that's a little bit different, and we'll go with that. But I'm gonna start right off into something for people that do listen. We're gonna jump into something that we're already just talking about right now. And the question of the day, off the bat already, okay, is what is the percentage, okay, of the deathly mortal rate.
Yeah, the mortality
of
rate.
the coronavirus that would keep you no matter what at home, okay? No matter what, you're not coming out. You're allowed to go shopping. You're allowed to get food, but you're not going out. What is keeping you inside your house? What is the percentage? Is it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100? I am asking some of my friends. I do got some astonishing numbers already. Peter, did you ask anyone?
I asked Kaylee.
That's it?
Yeah, I didn't have enough time. But she said 10 to 20%. I'm the same.
I give this guy one assignment.
And it was like 2 minutes ago. But yeah, she said 10 to 20%. I'm sitting at around like 10%. I'm like after 10%, you're looking at 1 out of 10 people to have that shit. And do you know how many times you run past 10 people in a day? Like 10 times.
That's true. Wow, you never really think of that. Mine was 20%. And I do have two analytical friends, very analytical. One's my boy John, JR, and of course you and I both know Andrew. Mm-hmm. And you get very statistical. Victor is too, but his answer was very surprising. His ass said 40%.
Dude, hold on. Before we get into the 40%, let me say this now. The Black Plague took out 1/3 of the European population. That is 33.5%. Do you know how many people that is? That's one out of every 3 people.
By the way, we're not laughing because of this. We're laughing at some of these answers we've gotten. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna put some of my friends on blast here. I'll put myself.
We love you though, Victor. We love you, bro.
My number is 20%.
1 of 5.
20% is the number that I'm going to be staying in. I think I'm going to be staying in. I do have some upper respiratory issues myself. I have a little bit of asthma. I've gotten pneumonia like 15 times. You saw me really sick for like 6 fucking months. My wife seen me on my deathbed. I remember when I first met my wife, I already had pneumonia like within the first 3 months. I thought she was leaving my ass like right there and then. So I'm a little bit more concerned. I'm going with 20%. Yours is what?
10. About 10%.
And your girlfriend Kaylee is what?
10%.
Our producer Kevin, what is it? He's going with 10%. Right now, guys, it's already at 6.8%. Your asses are in here. Mm-hmm. You might as well round that off to 10%. So what the fuck are you doing here?
Hey, man, it ain't 10%.
My buddy Victor said 40%. He's crazy as hell. My buddy Andrew, he said 10%. Him and his wife Sarah said 10%. My director Rebecca, she said 50%.
Wild. That is crazy. That's 50%, crazy to me.
My Fit Kids for Fun director, her name's Rebecca, phenomenal employee, but she's risking it. She has kids, so she might be risking it going out there fighting for food. My buddy John from Maryland.
That's some Walking Dead shit.
His answer was the most, believe it or not, I thought it was the best answer, but I mean, he didn't really give me a percentage. He said no percent because at some point I have to go get food. And if no matter what, stay locked up, I'm going to die. How do you feel about that, Peter?
Well, he's going to have to leave that.
You can't have French fries. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'll fucking. I've gone long bouts without French fries, and it's not because it's my choice. It's because like I just wouldn't. But I agree with John. But at the same time, 10+% is. I said 10+%. So like anywhere beyond that 10% mark is kind of like, fuck, this thing is getting a little crazy.
My buddy John just said, I also don't understand the question. Percentage of what deaths? Number dead of the total population, number that die who become infected. And I think it depends if there's a 10% chance that I might someday die in a car accident. I'm not going to stop driving because it's not contagious. But if 10% of people that get infected die, bro, I'm out. Peace. 1 in 10 chance. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, 1 in 10.
Yeah, so 1 in 10.
Mortality.
Percentage of mortality. So yes. So 1 in 10, 2 in 10. You didn't ask anybody else?
No, let me ask. Let's see.
Ask somebody else. Ask somebody else in your group because you only asked one person. Yeah. I asked my wife, see if she was going to ask her staff. My buddy Damon, Victor, my buddy John, and my director Rebecca, since they were right here on my phone. But anyways, those of you listening out there, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. That's what we've been talking about. What's going to keep your ass home? Mine was 20%.
I just asked Melinda.
I do believe personally, this is just my personal opinion. We all respond with fear, and I want to get into that for a second. This is gonna be my miscellaneous subject right off the bat. We all respond with fear, and I want to talk about fear for a second. So think about what would stop. I'm gonna go really extreme here, so bear with me for a second, and then I'll let you answer a lot of these questions, Peter. What would stop murderers? What would stop rapists? What would stop people getting robbed? What would stop child molesters? What would stop, any crime you can even think of? And the only thing I can really think of is what would scare someone enough to not do it, to say, you know what, this isn't worth risking.
Hold on. Melinda said 20%.
20%.
I think ballpark, like if you're looking at a ballpark answer, I think anywhere between like 15+%.
By the way, me and Peter are drinking black coffee, not presented by
Disney.
Disney did not sponsor the show, but we have their
Cheap,
mugs,
bro, cheap.
so we apologize. But you're getting free advertisement even though you're closed. So Peter, I have my own theory. I think we've talked about this in the gym. What do you think would get people to stop?
The only thing that would stop them from extreme crime is extreme punishment.
And what's an extreme punishment?
Extreme punishment was the death penalty. But some people don't even care. That's the thing, bro. Like, down to an individual basis, you're not going to find a lot of them. Well, you're going to find a lot of them who are very sorry, quote unquote, only for getting caught. They're not really sorry for what they did. But there's also going to be that percentage of those people who just don't give a fuck. They have nothing to lose. So
they're just going to do what they got to do.
They're just going to do whatever the fuck they feel like doing.
I think that in order for that to stop is you not only have to scare them, you'd have to scare the entire public and show some type of back in the day execution style thing on TV. I'm dead serious because think about it like this.
See, that was some wild shit, but go ahead.
I know it's wild. I know I don't have no sick mind or anything like that. But what I mean by that is people are driven by fear. Period. They are scared of something. We all are. And let me tell you something. If I see somebody's head getting chopped off, or I see something crazy because they did something, and I say, this is what's going to happen to you guys on live TV right now if you do this. If you went out and you did some terrible, robbery, or you jumped somebody, or you killed somebody at gunpoint, your head's getting chopped off on national television. And I can promise you, if that happened, people will stop. It will go. They won't stop, but it will go down.
There would have to be a whole channel for that. You know that, right? There would have to be a whole fucking channel for that because of how many people that they're fucking killing a day. You know that? There'd have to be a channel for it. Like when someone just tunes in and like, oh, fuck, I'm bored. Nothing to watch today. I wonder who got killed. You know what I mean?
Now my buddy John thinks I have the
Corona?
coronavirus. I do not,
It's amazing.
John. And I would be definitely terrified. I really truly would. I know my wife would be as well. But anyways, that's our miscellaneous topic of the day. We're gonna go right into our health and wellness topic of the day, which is I've been reading a book called Own It by Aubrey Marcus Peter. It's the guy that's on my bookshelf, and very educated guy. He owns a supplement company, and he's really big into.
Was that the On It guy?
Yes.
Okay.
That guy. And he made he said something really, really good. He said every diet that's ever been created has been a little right and a little wrong. And he said, because they're all going to work, but they're all going to work also at a deficit or at a problem. And he really believes in, he seemed like a really keto type of guy, high fat. So what is your, if all right, let's go with the most unique, a good question for you. If I know you don't believe in any of that crap, you're more of a well-balanced, eat healthy, do the right thing.
Right.
But if you had to, all the studies you've done, if you had to choose a specific thing out of paleo, keto, low carb, whatever the hell you want to call it out there, intermittent fasting, you name it. What is the one that you actually would approve of that you could give some positive feedback to?
My first thought process would be, to answer the question immediately, I would say low carb because the carb is the most easily manipulated macronutrient.
I agree 100%.
Easily, but you want to look at
why is that? Explain that to people.
Because, like, realistically,
explain what a carbohydrate is, and explain. Keep it really simple, because don't get on to all how the saccharides and all this crap. Just keep it really quickly what it does to your body internally and what happens.
Okay, so the brain functions on glucose.
What is glucose?
It's sugar, basically.
Okay, there you
so
go.
the body digests a carbohydrate, breaks it down into sugar. It goes into your muscles as glycogen, and it's glucose, ATP, and all that other bullshit. So basically, it's the most easily manipulated. So you can easily take away some carbs from someone's diet, add more protein and fat, which are more satiating. So it's going to hold you over a lot longer than a carb source will.
So protein and fat. So he's confirming proteins. And for those of you watching, this is a really educational nutrition right now. You're confirming that protein and fats are easier, are more dense, are going to keep you full.
Yes, well, the fat is definitely going to keep you more full because it's 9 calories per gram. But keeping that in mind, the protein is more satiating. Not only that, it takes the most calories to be able to consume. Period. So let's say you're consuming, I think around let's say 100 calories worth of protein. It's going to take you probably around 30 of those calories to be able to actually ingest the rest of that. So people don't really, there's a thermogenic effect to carbohydrates. To protein. Keeping that in mind, there's no thermogenic effect when it comes to carbohydrates that the body isn't already going through. There is a thermogenic effect to food, but besides that.
What is thermogenic?
Body temperature.
Remember, we got to keep it.
Okay.
Explain.
So, all right, let me break it down. So,
by the way, when I ask him these questions, I know this stuff. He's educated really well with this stuff. Not that I'm not, but I like when he explains it a little bit better than I do. But go ahead.
So basically, it's the easiest manipulated. So if you take away carbohydrates from somebody, you'll almost experience a fast response because they're not holding as much water immediately. They're not consuming as much calories immediately. So it's something that can happen fast. But if you're looking at taking away a fat source from somebody, you take away a fat source now and their hormones can get out of whack. You take away someone's protein, they could lose muscle mass. So those are the two things you generally want to avoid. Keeping that in mind, what ends up happening is my main thing is if you want to look at a bodybuilder, if you're looking at a bodybuilder, the first thing that they do, and they're on like some wild fucking diets where people are like, oh, I'm eating like, and I'm talking about going into like prep and shit. Those people will start consuming like 30 grams of carbs over like a 2-week span or some shit like that. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And they do that for X amount of time before they get like a little bit of a refeed, and then they go again. But you see how lean they fucking get? They get super fucking lean.
Okay, so you're going with the low carb.
Low carb. That would be like, if I'm abiding by any diet per se, I would say low carb. But at the end of the day, just eat less and move more. That's the simplest way I
Active
can
lifestyle.
put it. Yeah.
Speaking of that,
be as active as you can.
speaking about being active as you can, I want to get into something, and this is just me being honest about a couple of things with myself. Lately, because of this stuff, since we've been home,
Corona bullshit.
I don't want to call myself lazy, but I've been bored out of my mind. And I wake up, and I'm like, nope, I don't have no meeting. I have no fit kids. I have nobody to train. There's just nothing going on. I've been working on my backyard, as you already know. You helped me with that before we came on here a little bit. But I've been, for the past 2 weeks, and this is no joke, this is true. Past 2-3 weeks, I'm like, I got to wake up. I want to do my cardio, and then I want to go work out. And I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing anything. I just was like waking up. I was being lazy. I'd turn on Apex. You know this already. And then I'd go outside. I'd work on my yard. I'd come back inside. I'd clean the house. I'd do laundry.
Cook.
And I'm cooking. And I was just bored. And I'm like, you know what? Damn, like, I'm like really lazy right now. So, but every day I've been wanting to, I have that urge to get up and go for a run or go on my Peloton bike. It's sitting right there. And this is more for people that are stuck, that are in a rut, what I did, you know, to get out of that and stuff like that. And I said, you know, my dog Ramsey's 10 years old. My puppy Marshmallow, who's going to be 3 years old in 3 days. I said, you know, I've been waking up. I've just been playing Apex, and I've been, you know, coming to the gym a little bit. I said, I'm going to start running. Fuck it. So I woke up, and what I did differently, instead of having coffee or tea, I had my wife's cellular core. She doesn't even know this, but I'm going to tell her later.
Shit.
I had the cellular core HD powder, peach mango, and buddy, let me tell you something.
Was it good?
I got like super motivated. I put my hoodie on. I said, I'm going to go run 2 miles right now.
See, I can't run no 2 miles.
I said,
I'll pass out.
And let me tell you, I haven't ran 2 miles probably in about 5 years. I'm not even kidding when I said this. And because of my feet and for those of you that I have foot and calf problems really badly. Okay. I've torn my calf a year and a half ago. I have plantar fasciitis. And so I woke up, put my hoodie on. I said, I'm going to sweat. I said, all right, boys, let's go. They were like lost. My Marshmallow's shaking around. He's going crazy. And I went out and I ran with them for I have video of it. And I remember every morning before that, when I didn't do that, I felt like, I'm fucking better than this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm better than this. Like why can't I just go out for all it took was 20 minutes? And instead, I chose to just sit there, watch my anime cartoons, or I read a book. Don't get me wrong. I was reading an educational book. I'd start reading my book, or I played my Apex. And then instead of working 8 hours on my yard, I'd work 4 or 5 hours on my yard, right?
Yeah.
It could have been done by this point. My point behind that is the weakest part about it. It's not that I couldn't do it, right? I wanted to do it. It's just the part of right before that. It was that part of just getting my hoodie on and walking and start running. You just have to start.
Resistance. Action pivot.
You just have to start. That's it, no matter what. And let me tell you, when I ran, I felt really, really good. I came back. I ran a mile all the way down from my house all the way to Silver Star Road, and I ran back without stopping.
No, sir.
Peter, without stopping with my dogs.
Pass out.
With my dogs. And let me tell you, like, I got back and I'm like,
I feel
what
good.
the fuck was I doing? Like what? Like holy shit.
Yeah.
So I'm telling people who are listening to this, because every time you think of starting a workout program, we're trainers.
Or just going.
I run into a rut too. Don't get me wrong. There's points I stop working out for a week or two, and I always want to do it. But then when I do it, you feel great. It just goes to a point where I love suffering. I love running. I love to suffer in the gym. You've seen me work out crazy in here with Andrew and Damien and shit like that. So I love that stuff. And it's just like I just got into like a deadbeat rut there for a second.
Yeah. You got to think it was only like what, 2 weeks, a week, maybe?
Since April 1st.
Okay.
So what is that? So
2 weeks.
So
About
I
2
stopped
weeks.
after 2 weeks. I stopped. I was like, fuck that. I'm just going for it. So I'm gonna take my dogs out every morning during the week now. I wake up when my wife wakes up. She wakes me up, and I'm gonna go for the run. But I felt great, and my whole point behind that is if you want to start something, just start it, even if it's not the best. There's runners that brag, okay, I ran 50 miles this morning. I don't care. I care that I ran my 2 miles. And could I ran more? Honest to God, I probably could have went to 8 to 10. That's how good I felt. I don't know if it was a Cellucor Super HD shit that she takes.
That shit kicking.
But I'm going to try it again. I'm like, Mama, you want to go for a run tomorrow? Because I'm about to be out again.
I was about to say.
I just, man, I felt good. I've been sweating all day. I've been, no, not to be nasty, but I've been stinking all day too, because I just think my body been wanting to run.
It's a thermogenic. And that pre-workout. Is that fat burner?
I don't know. This just goes, the whole point behind this is just start. You want to do something, start. You want to write a book, start. You want to work out and do great.
Lose weight.
You're thinking about guys, listen, 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And what Peter knows this too is lately I've been doing push-ups, squats, and dips before every this is the truth. He heard me explain what happened.
So like Christian was like, no, I hit Christian up and I was like, yo, I'm about to hop on. I'm about to go on Apex real quick. And he's like, all right, I'll hop right on. I was in the middle of a game. I finished the game and he was in the lobby, and I put my headphones on and I was like, bro, why the fuck you breathing like that? He was like, I was just doing push-ups, dips, and squats before the match. I was like, oh. We ran the fucking match, and then he's like, oh, hold on, I got to do my push-up, squats, and dips again. Does them again. All right, what do you want to run? Duos? And then we go again.
But my wife doesn't even know that. She'd find it funny when she watches this. But my whole point behind that is the push-up, squats, and dips led me into, it gave me momentum. It led me into the run. And yes, I'm a trainer and stuff like that. And I should be doing this stuff naturally, but I'm just being honest for those of you.
People are people. People need to stop.
You're going to be human.
Yeah.
And my whole point behind that is what got me started was momentum. I said, you know what? I'm being lazy right now. While I was playing, what's going to make me not be lazy? And so while I was playing, I'm doing squats, push-ups, and dips. And Peter heard me doing this. I'm going, because we had ran like 30, 40 games that day, at least.
30?
Huh?
30, though?
You don't think so?
I would say like maybe 10, 15.
All right. Well, I was doing 10 of each before every match. Okay. So I probably ended up with 200. Yeah. I probably ended up with 200 of everything. Peter knows this.
Yeah.
So, but that gave me momentum, and that gave me momentum to run. So I ran, I came back, showered, had James, and then I went back home, and then you helped me with putting the getting the cinder blocks back into the backyard. But everything's about momentum, folks. Everything starts with you giving yourself momentum. That's all. That's my whole point. Peter, has there ever been a time where is there a similar story or something where you were struggling with? If you're going to be honest, it could be anything that you got out of a rut or something like that.
Yes. So when this happened to me, this was back in like 2018, the end of 2018.
So you were 5 years old. Go ahead.
Yes. So the end of 2018, I'll put it like this. So, mid 2018, I did a powerlifting meet in July, and I did the meet, did well, everything went fine. But I started having this issue where I was just so consumed by making more money that I booked clients like and didn't take any type of break for myself during the day. So long story short, that goes on, and that made me limit my training. So I wasn't able to work out as often. And if I did, it was probably for an hour. And anyone who knows about powerlifting, there's no fucking way you're going to be in a gym for an hour if you're powerlifting. Especially if you take it seriously, there's no fucking way that that's going to happen. Keeping that in mind, I wasn't able to powerlift as often, so I was just kind of fucking around. And I think it was around that time where I was like, you know what? I need to fucking do something about this because this is pissing me off. And I remember I was at a friend's house, and I was sitting there, and I was fucking writing up programs for like 30 minutes. And every time I would write one up, it would be good on paper. And I'd look at it, crumple it up, throw it away. Look at it again, get another one, write it up, look at it, crumple it up, throw it away. And I did that for like 30 minutes. I just bought that notebook. I shit you not, I threw away like 30 pages. Like, what the I was like, this is fucking stupid. So finally, I ended up hitting up my coach because I work better with a program. If I have something in front of me, I can do it. I will do it. And I'll get it done. But
even if it's 2 miles running?
No. I'm not running. So, and then I finally hit up my coach. I was like, yo, I just need something to fucking do. Because I know you're a coach. I need you to do this for me. Just tell me what it is. Tell me what you need me to do. I'll pay you for it. And let's just fucking go from there. And ever since then, that's what I've been doing. Now, because I'm, I don't have all the same weight, I have to, change things, give some variation and stuff. But, man, that was it for me. So basically what ended up happening over that span of time was, I really slipped up on my training. And, ultimately, I backtracked in regards to the powerlifting. And I hit up my coach, and I was like, yo, shout out to Marcellus Williams, the Swolefessor. But ultimately, we just ended up working together. Quite possibly one of the best investments I've ever made in my life because it gave me the just do it. You know what I mean? So he sends the work. He's like, hey, this is what you have for 4 weeks. Just do your fucking job. And that's what I do. I go in Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Take Friday off and Monday off. And then repeat. You just keep fucking going. Nuts to butts.
So we touched base on fear. I gave you a story about starting. I want to add to the whole starting thing. For those of you who are trying to start something, a business,
whatever it is,
you want to start a conversation, you're scared to say something, you're scared to whatever it may be, you want to start a workout program, you want to start, we're going to go with a workout program, okay? You want to start a workout program, and then what you do is you Google how to start a workout program, and you see probably 9 million YouTube videos, or you see
10 million hits.
You've been following somebody on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever the hell you've been looking at, and you get all this information, and all you have is information. Information's phenomenal. Do not get me wrong. I think it's great to have all the information. However, starting and doing and getting that momentum, and then you're going to start figuring out what you like, what gives you the best feel, what gives you the absolute best result for yourself. And that's what it's going to take. Our producer Kevin, he's about to pass out right now. He's coughing up blood.
That was pretty funny.
No, I'm kidding. You have to be able to get your mind into that state of, I'm going to do this and that's it. You put in the work, you get the momentum going, you start. When you start with the basics. You don't need to start with what Joe Blow's doing or whatever that, whoever you're following, they're doing this, they do all this crazy stuff that you've never done before. If you've never worked out, just start with the basics. And the basics is not even exercising. The basics is getting your ass in the gym moving, start getting yourself some momentum. After that, yes, learn the basic squats, learn the form, learn what you need to learn the weights, learn stuff. But if you start learning all this information, you're gonna get so overwhelmed because everybody has their own opinion on things and they have their own take on every single thing, what works for them. Remember, they are not you. They're not you. That's why finding a trained professional, they've dealt with different body types, they've dealt with different people. They're going to be able to help you a little bit better than somebody else that has no professional training whatsoever. So the whole point is get the momentum going, get the train tracks, start getting, get your feet wet. And it's okay. After that, you're going to start figuring it out. Part of life is just figuring it out.
As you go.
That's it. Life is figuring it out. You get the information. What are you going to do with it? So whoop-de-doo. What are you doing about it? Okay? So that's our advice when it comes to the health and wellness. Get the momentums, get the train tracks going.
Yeah. Information is cool up until it isn't applied. That's basically it. So like you can have all.
And
the
we all
information
mess up with that.
Yeah,
we all.
There was you threw something. You said something. I don't remember when it was. Probably about a week ago or something like that. But if I were to make it simple, everything is all fun and dandy, but if you don't have experience in anything, so you could learn everything that it takes to run a business via books. But if you have not run a business, then
which is our next subject right now. But go ahead.
That's it. Like if you can learn everything, you can learn the ins and outs of running a business. But if you have no practical application or experience in doing so, then you will end up getting fucked up.
Running a business, a lot of it is.
I'm gonna get water.
Go ahead. A lot of it is. You gotta know, huh? No, I got my gallon right here. You gotta know what is gonna make you at your best. And that's the part you need to be doing within your business. You have to remember, if you're running a business right now, you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to make something happen. The first question I always get, and this is the biggest one that I get the most. Do you need money to start a business?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think so?
I get that all the time. To start a business? Of course. You need money. You need money. You need money to get your LLC. You need money to get the bank account. I mean, you're gonna need something. Yes, absolutely, you will need something. Now, do you need the best? What?
I think I got a good question.
Do you need the best? Yeah, this is where you should start interviewing me with stuff.
I think I got a good question for you.
So, you hear so many people. All you need is passion and follow your passion and just do it.
Passion don't pay bills.
But let me tell you something. Like, it don't work like that. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, it takes. Not only do you need a lot of money? No. Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't need a lot of money. You do need some, because you're going to need a network of people that are going to believe in you, start buying products, whatever it is that you're doing. Right. If you're going to be a personal trainer, do you need money to start? No, you don't. Okay, you can take on a client, you can take on a friend, you can start that way. But at some point, if you're going to run a business, again. Let me go back to the last podcast. You're going to run a business. Yes, you need money. If you're going to start a passion and start something, you do not need money. You just got to do it. I'm going to reiterate that one more time for those of you that don't understand the difference. If you are going to plan to run a operating business
that makes you money,
you will need money. How much? It depends on what your field is. Okay, some may only need $50, some may need $10,000. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I did it barely with any loans. I mean, now yes, I take out loans. I take out business loans. I whatever it is that I need to get ahead of the game because to pay my to do my marketing or whatever. Yes, it's okay. But my whole point is to start running a business, you're gonna need some money, but you have to be smart with that. And the first time you probably do it, you're going to mess up and you're going to lose all of it most of the time. 80% of the time.
I've lost a lot of money.
But what's your question, Peter? Go ahead.
Okay. So for the general person who's looking to start any type of business, or let's start small. And because just like I mentioned before, a lot of people will sit there and be like, oh, I run a business. But you're saying if you are the whole business, then you are just a independent contractor and or self-employed. How would someone start their career with $500? That's a good one.
So but you're not being very
specific. Okay, so how would someone start? Let's say someone wants, because I've seen people want to do makeup, they want to sell things online, whatever. How would someone start their career towards self-employment and then towards a business with only $500?
Okay. Let's start with this.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Let's start with this. You have $500. Okay. You have to answer these questions I'm about to ask. Okay. Number one.
I'm gonna answer them theoretically.
Okay.
I got you.
So number one, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what is the market that you're trying to reach? First off, in your business. Okay, you have to kind of look at everything. What can you do with $500 with what you have?
Okay, let me.
So what do you have?
I'll paint the picture.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
So you always have. I always give people this advice. You have to work with what you have, and if you have nothing, there's always something. Remember that. Mm-hmm. You have to work with what you have, and if you have nothing, there's always something.
I agree.
Okay, so paint the picture. Go ahead.
So young kid. 23, it doesn't really matter about the age, wants to customize clothing and sell them online.
Okay.
$500, no LLC. Well, no, not no LLC. Works 24 hours, doesn't matter where it is, makes let's say, I don't know, like $400 a week, $500 a week. I don't know what that would be.
You're
like
not doing
hourly.
a good job right now, but that's
I'm really
okay.
I'm really not. But hey, yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's start with this. You're going to start a business. You're going to be a personal trainer, makeup artist. I don't know. I feel makeup artist. It's a little bit.
That's a very broad thing. I see a lot of girls that like will pop up on like Twitter and shit, and they have like a huge following. But I'm not into makeup, so why the fuck should I know who they are? You know what I mean? But then again,
you have to. The
makeup.
first thing you have to do is you have to know your niche. Mm-hmm. You just have to know your niche. And what I mean your niche, I'm talking about you have to be a beast at your field, at what your business is at. You have to find the person who has that. And not just that person. You have to find multiple people. Mm-hmm. Find a bunch of people that have that, okay, that have that niche. And books, YouTube videos, you watch all of them sons of bitches. You listen to the Audible on your way to work and on the way back. You write down your notes. Okay? There's always going to be something about each person that you're going to be able to take out that says, I can do that. And those are the ones you want to write down. Yeah, there's going to be things about that person that you just don't have as a person. You just don't have it. There's going to be things like that. You just don't have what the other person may or may not have. But there's going to be one thing that you have over them. Always. And the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what are you willing to put yourself through to obtain the type of business you want that's going to be running? And if you can answer that question, which should be, this is my only option, or I'm going to be a bum out on the street, then you're going to make it. You have to be able to understand your niche is number one. Number two, you have to understand what you're great at and what you're weak at. And whatever you're weak at, you have two options. One, you study the living hell out of it and figure out how you can get better. And if it's something you're just not that good at, somewhere down the line, you're going to have to find somebody that is good at that part and hire them. Because I suck at social media. You know this. I haven't had social media. I mean, I just suck at it. Like, I just hate posting. I hate, I didn't like being on it or whatever. I have someone run it for me. It doesn't make me a bad person. I just have someone run it for her because she's good at it. This is what she loves to do. I don't love doing that. I think it's just what it is, okay? Now, it took me this long to be able to hire someone to do it, but I think a lot of people, big mistake they make is they try to do everything, and you are going to be doing everything in the beginning.
Initially, yeah.
You will be doing everything because you have to. You're going to be in that field. You should know what you're doing. But at some point, when you get to that breaking point where I'm running a business or I'm not running a business, that's when you have to say, what am I weak at and what am I not weak at? That's it. That's what it comes down to. I think that, so again, number one, know your niche. And I mean, know it inside and out. Who's on top, who's not? What are the products? What are the websites that I like that I can mimic my website on? Who's doing a podcast about my subject? Who are the greatest of all time? Who is the most? What makes them the greatest of all time? Did they already have connections? Did they not? What type of connections did they have? What's their story like? Were they self-made like I am? Were they not? Did they start with money? If you're a self-made person, follow self-made people. If you're a rich person with money already, then follow someone like that. You have to be able to follow people that are in the same boat as you, because you're gonna learn from the other ones. Don't get me wrong, but they're not gonna have the same triumphs you did.
They're not gonna be able to relate as well.
Correct. So you have to find people that are relatable within your niche. Number two is figure out what you're really, really good at. Okay, master that. Be the master at that particular person. For example, I'm not the best person at creating programs. I'm not. You're a lot better than me at that. Okay, but I can create a workout on the spot really quickly at a park. Okay, I can create a deathly workout.
And believe it or not, that is indeed a skill.
Like on the spot. When it comes on the spot, making decisions real quick to actually do it. Like I feel I'm up there. Period. I really do. I mean, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. Like, I will create the craziest obstacle course out there if I really have to do it on the spot. Peter's witnessed
that shit
this.
is funny. That
So,
shit is so funny.
But I know when it comes to, like, here's a program, we're gonna do hypertrophy week 6, and we're gonna do muscle failure, 8 reps of this. Like, that's not what I do. I'm gonna push you to push you, and that's it. That's just is what it is. My whole point behind that is know your niche, know who you are. Number 3, when you visualize yourself running the business and you're like at the top, what does that look like for you?
What does that feel like, too?
Like, who is that person? What are they wearing? What's their office look like? What's their staff look like? What kind of boss are you? Like, you have to literally visualize that. Like, I do. Like, I did. And I still do till this day. Like, what are they... What are they doing to be that executive, when you get to that point? And then you have to start being that person,
like tailoring,
becoming
yourself
that
to
person in the very beginning. Now, you have $500. What is $500 going to do? Okay? What is it? What if you have $500, what am I going to do with those $500? The first thing I'm going to do is, yes, I'm going to open up my LLC. I'm going to get a bank account, okay? Yeah. I'm going to get my Bank of America bank account with my debit card. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find maybe 2 books or YouTube channels or something like that I'm going to follow, or I have to purchase or buy on their website to learn the most from them. If there's a mentor class from that person, you take it. If there's a seminar that's $80 or $100, you take it. Here's why. You go on there, there's going to be other people. You can connect with them. You can network with them. Okay? All of a sudden, you see people chatting or whatever it is like that. Like, I remember I used to go on Grant Cardone. When I used to watch Grant Cardone live, there was a bunch of people, like, they were all like, they're just saying, hi, Grant, Uncle G, or whatever. But Grant Cardone actually sent me something back one time. And I'll never forget it. And I remember telling my wife about it. But you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know like what's gonna happen. Because if you're there and you're present, you're there. You got to be in front of everybody's face. People got to know who you are. And the only way for that to happen is you got to make some serious fireworks. You're not going to be on top right off the bat, but you got to try, right? So I'm taking seminars. I'm doing network. I'm learning as much as I possibly can, but I'm also doing what I know I'm the best at with what I'm learning from the extra people. So if I'm great at connecting, right, with people, and that person gave me a lesson on how to better connect, I'm doing that right off the bat because I'm already great at it. If they gave me a skill that I'm weak at, I probably won't do it right away.
Because you're like self-conscious, shit like that.
You got it. So $500, LLC, seminars, books, and then once I have that, then I'm gonna be looking into, well, what kind of sales do I need to start paying my bills? Okay. What kind of sales do I need to pay my bills and pay me some money for where I want to go at? Yeah. What kind of sales do I need to become that executive at the very top that I just saw 5-10 years ago? What is it going to take for me to get to that? Is it $5,000 a month? You need $10,000 a month? You need $20,000 a month? You need $30,000 a month? What is it that you want? Now, yeah, people are going to come back and say, I want $5 million. I want $1 million or whatever. You want $1 million? Okay, you need to make... you're going to need to make $83,333 a month to get $1 million.
Not to mention that's gross. That's gross. No, I'm saying like that's like gross sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gross sales.
Because I remember when I wrote,
like you're excluding not even.
I remember when I wanted $100,000 and I said I want to make my first $100,000. I wrote down $8,333 a month. That's what it takes to make $100,000.
Yeah, because like 8,000 is $96,000.
So times what's that
$96,000.
What's that times 10? And that's gonna give you $1 million, right? So I think I was right with the 83,000.
It's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, I was exactly right. $83,333 to make $1 million.
Hey, you know what's crazy as hell?
A month.
You know what's crazy as hell when you think about it?
You need to make $1,602 a week.
Wait, how much? 1,000 what?
Well, you need to make 1,600. Wait, that doesn't make sense.
You might have typed something in wrong.
I did type something in wrong. I got it. Hold on. You need to make $19,230 a week to make $1 million.
You know what's crazy?
That's not that bad. That really like that really isn't that hard.
I would start smaller with like 100,000 because not a lot of people make 100,000 off rip.
No,
you know
believe it or not, less than, I think I saw the math. 25% of people aren't even in six figures.
Nope. That's fucking
weird.
Crazy. That's crazy shit. And to think, divide that by 100,000 divided by 365, you only need to make $273.97 a day. It doesn't sound like a lot. It doesn't. Realistically.
But to most people it is, right?
To most people, because you'd have to take a job that is 277, 8 hours. You'd have to get a job where you're earning $34.25 an hour for 8 hours a day. And then that shit is taxed.
Or you do 2.5 hours for $274.
You know?
I mean, don't think 8 hours, buddy. I mean, think.
No, I'm talking about people. Well, the general person working a 9 to 5, they would have to earn that much.
Back to the original question. You're right. I think the biggest mistake I even made myself is I did think too small. My first goal
I think that's one thing.
I remember my first goal was like, I want to make $100,000. I want to gross it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I know, but I should have said, I want to gross 10 million. That's what I should have said. Because grossing $1 million to me now is like
so doable.
Like but that. Like I don't, to gross $1 million. I mean, obviously the coronavirus and all that is a big problem, but I knew that that was going to happen within the next probably 1 to 2 years. It was coming for me, was to gross $1 million. And I remember when I had said that, I was like, damn, now I got to go with now next is 10 million, because Grant Cardone likes to 10x everything. I was like, all right, now it's going to be $10 million. 50 minutes. Okay, got it. But anyways, I'm not saying numbers and money and grossing, because gross doesn't mean anything if you're not making a profit. And I learned that a really hard way one time. So remember that you have to pay yourself first. Always, this is really sad to say, and a lot of people don't think this way, but pay yourself first, then pay everybody else. A lot of people don't take a paycheck and they pay their employees. I'm like, well, what are you getting in business for?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, what are you
like? What are you in business? Why? Like, just get rid of an. I'm not saying get rid of an employee. Just like have their families like left and right, but pay yourself first. That's what you ran a business for. The business is yours. Pay it first. You're first. You're the owner. Pay yourself first. Then whatever's left, if you can afford an employee, you afford an employee. I mean, luckily, I had 4 employees, but I always paid myself. So it is what it is. Second thing is, you got to be able to understand that you're not perfect. You're not the best at your business.
You're going to fuck some shit up.
There's going to be someone that's going to come around and take your idea. There's going to be people out there that are going to be hungry just like you. You're just like everybody else, and they're after your dreams and your money. And I'm going to tell you that right now. And there is someone that's out there that was born, and probably they're going to be coming around later on, and they might come around. You just have to be really persistent. Don't ever get comfortable. I make that mistake a lot. I get comfortable really quickly.
Me too.
But I will tell you, I've done it. What I do to make sure that I don't get too comfortable like that is, I don't stay content with where I'm at. I always make sure that I don't have my 50, 60 gyms, around the U.S. yet. I don't have my kids' fitness program is not all around the U.S. right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in Texas or California or New York or Pennsylvania. I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no building to myself or real estate that me and my wife are running.
Yeah.
Different Airbnbs. Yes, I have one Airbnb. Yes, I'm in 23 OCPS public schools, and I have 4 summer camps. That may or may not happen this year.
Hey, man, you still got them.
But
so I think they're gonna.
I started. Right, and I'm well on my way to
grossing that $1 million
where I need to go. Yeah. So my whole point behind that is, I started off with one school.
Not even one.
I started off with one summer camp, right? And I didn't stop, and I failed. I don't even know how many times I blew money. I honest to God probably think within a good. Let's say I've been
from start to finish. Start to now.
From start to finish.
Don't say finish. From start to now.
From start to now, I started back in 2014, spring of 2014.
Damn, that's my fucking senior year, bro.
Spring of 2014, I started Fit Kids for Fun at John Young Elementary School.
Oh my God.
And from that time, for the first, I'm not even kidding when I say this, probably from 2014 to the end of 2018 was nothing but failure.
That's crazy to think.
Nothing but lost money. I'm not even kidding.
That's crazy to think.
I think 2018 was the first year I broke even. Wow. It was like the first year I actually broke even. I probably lost maybe my first year $10,000. Negatives in my account, negatives in my business account and my personal account. One of the years my car was about to get repoed because they thought they made it. Me and my wife were broke as a freaking joke. When I'm talking broke as a joke, $20. It was me, my wife, and Ramsey. That's it. No cats. We had $20 for me, my wife, and Ramsey one time to eat. Ramsey got this turkey thing from Walmart. I can call my wife right now. She'll tell you the exact story. And I remember feeding Ramsey that first. And me and her had like spaghetti with like pasta sauce, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I didn't stop. I just didn't stop. I was like, no, like this is going to work out. This will work out. Guys, like this is going to work out. I didn't give myself an option B.
Yeah.
And I think people that are trying to start a business, you have to give yourself option A, and that's it. Because
I agree.
if you're giving yourself option B and C, you're making your mind create other ideas for B and C.
Yeah.
You're not giving your 100% of ideas to option A.
Yeah.
So if you say, this is all I'm doing, that's your option A. Your mind is just so focused on creating for that particular niche that you'll come out of it.
I agree.
And if you fail, you lost your $10,000, at least you learned how to lose $10,000. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you learn how to make sure like you're not going to lose that again.
Yeah.
Right? And let's say next year you lost 5. Well, guess what? You learned
You learned to keep 5.
You learned how to keep 5 extra, right? So like that's how. But that he's people are laughing.
It's true, man.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. And so man, I've learned so much. Let me tell you, I've learned so much. My wife, she pushed me so badly. I just think the number one. All right, if I had to give my 3 advices,
He's going off. Go ahead.
I am going off. You're gonna have to cut a lot of this, dude.
No, man, this shit is good.
I feel
this
like I've talked so much on this
but
podcast.
Like this is what people want to hear, though. You know what I mean? Like if someone wants to, before, let me go back to
okay.
One of the things that you were saying really quick. What people think off rip is like I've only been doing this for about like 4 years, like personal training. People think immediately once you end up starting some sort of business or self-employment or some shit like that, they think off rip that they're going to start making money and money's going to start flowing into their account and they're going to be like completely and utterly self-employed with no debt or anything like that. And I hate seeing that shit on social media because like, I can't even. So if I were to say right now that I've lost like maybe $30,000, it is like to me $30,000. Well, $30,000 to most people is going to be a lot of fucking money. But like, that's just it. Like I've lost fucking money, probably nowhere near as much as you've lost because you're saying from 2014 to the end of 2018 was like nothing but loss. But like I've lost a lot of fucking money, at least to myself. But if someone were to come up to me and tell me in 2016, or 2016, 2015, they're like, hey, this is what I'm going to tell you. You are going to train clients for about 3 years. And then you're going to meet somebody and he's going to want to open up a gym. And you guys are going to open up a gym, something that you've wanted to do since you were like 14. If someone were to come up to me and tell me that, and they were like, and all you have to do is do this for 3 years, I'm taking that bet every fucking time. I don't care how much money I'm going to lose. I'm taking that bet every fucking time. You're going to tell me that something that would have took somebody 10 to 15 years to do, I'm going to get it in 3? I'm going to take that fucking bet every time, and I'm going to lose as much money as it takes. I don't give a fuck. And that's what I did. You know what I mean? And I've told you, like, when it came to us, like, getting this place, I gave up, like, every single dime that I had. And, like, I had to ask my oldest brother. I was like, bro, like, can you send me $1 just so I'm, like, not negative? And that was it. That shit blows my fucking mind to this day, bro. Like, I gave everything for that. And I still, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'll run into, like, money issues now, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. But, like, I'm more than willing to take that bet. And I'm not going to even sit here and be like, I would say compared to most people my age, do I make more money than them? Yeah, more than likely. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I make all the money in the fucking world. But you have to take into account, like, now I have this place to pay for. Like, I'm giving you, like, we pay for this place. Like, my expenses are up. So I have to make more. I don't have a fucking choice. And people think, like, off rip that they're just going to make money and, like, oh, yeah, time to go to fucking Miami whenever I want and shit like that. It don't work that way. You know what I mean? And that's just shit that I hate seeing. I hate seeing that shit on social media. But I try to, like, avoid it because, like, I come off as I've been told I have a holier-than-thou complex. But it's true, though. I do kind of, like, I can be very
How long is this fucking podcast?
It's pretty fucking long. But I can admit that I do have a little bit of a holier-than-thou. Yeah.
For those of you that are still listening, thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Dude,
we be having fun with this shit, though. Like, it's fun.
If you've gotten this far. Okay. I started a business
Lost a lot of fucking money.
Lost a lot of money. Real quick, the 3 lessons that I've learned the most. Christians, or 5. I'm going to go with 5. I'll go with 5 because everybody says 10. But 5 lessons that I've learned about starting a business. Number 1, make your business option A only. I think that's the number one
Smith
thing.
said that.
I think that's it. Like there is no other option, no matter how long it takes, how much shit you got to go through. Option A, that's it. It's ride or die. Because when you put yourself up against that wall, you will accomplish it. That's number 1 advice for me. Give yourself option A. Number 2, know what it takes to actually run your business. You have to learn daily, day in, day out, even if you've been doing it for 10, 20 years. Learn every person that's above you, every person that's below you. Learn every single thing of what it's going to take. I'm talking about, what I mean by that is what it takes to run a staff, different personalities in the room, how to run a meeting, taxes, planning and implementing your strategies in your business, your market, the people that love your business. Why do they love your business? Why do they come to you? Why do they come to you? Why do they love your business? What is that?
This is Wilt Chamberlain.
Thanks for listening, Pete.
I'm listening.
See, he even lost the fucking touch of the
listening.
podcast.
But hold on, really quick before
Number 4.
Damn it. Go ahead.
Don't be afraid to fail. Because it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen really bad. It will make you question yourself really bad. It will make you question that you've made the wrong decision. You will get depressed. If you're gonna have a success,
I agree with that. People don't talk about that.
If you're gonna have a successful,
you should talk
business,
about that next time.
I will. If you're gonna have a successful business, I'm talking the business that I talked about, where you're gonna be there, you're gonna go through a depression.
You should talk about that.
There's no way around it, and it will be a bad depression. It will be a depression, and you're gonna go freaking crazy. I'll talk about that. I don't have no problem talking about that. You'll go through a depression, and you can't be afraid of that. That's the point when you go through that. That will be the point that you will either quit or you won't.
I agree.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
I agree.
Every person that's successful, that was self-made, that came out of nowhere, went through a depression. If you heard the Rock story, went through a depression.
$7.
Sylvester Stallone went through a depression. Tony Robbins went through a depression. E.T. went through a depression. Les Brown went through a depression. Gary Vaynerchuk went through a depression. Michael Jordan went through a depression. You name them, they've done it. It's happened. You're gonna go through a depression. Okay, that's number 4. Don't be afraid to fail. Number 5. Don't get comfortable, even when you have money and you feel like you're successful. Success is rented. It's rented every day. Success, you rent success every day. It is not forever, because something can happen like this right here with the coronavirus, and that fast your dream is
Bam,
gone.
your shit is gone.
So know that those are my five lessons.
I like that though.
Mind you, none of them had anything to do with money management. Okay, none of them. If I had to keep going with my next,
write that down, bro.
My next lesson, it would be learn how to be a leader correctly, and know your staff, and know that everybody's different. How can you be a leader to them and have your vision be a part of who they are? And number 7 obviously would be, when you start making profit, know what you're doing with your profit. There you go. I hope that was good.
Write
for
those
people.
down, bro. Write those down.
You like that?
I'm talking about the we can talk about next week. The depression. I feel like that's something that people overlook. People will overlook.
Kevin, you liked that one, didn't you?
Because chances are, look, I see it as this. Like, if this shit gets any bigger, I'm probably gonna run into that bitch. So you're gonna have to talk about what I gotta do to get through it. So there's that, and there was that other thing that he mentioned. There was one more that, Oh yeah, like how to manage money. 5 things on how to manage money. Boom.
I'm not the very best at managing money.
You're better than most people because you have a business.
It doesn't mean I'm great at managing money.
That doesn't mean you're not better than most people.
I just you know what? Number 8 would be taking big risk, and I take big risk. And I think taking the risk equals me managing my money, because you just have to learn how to take risk with your money sometimes. Because if you hire the best employee, you're taking a risk paying them. That and if you make the wrong decision with that employee, you just lost money. That happened to me how many times? Anyways, till next show, we'll talk about some depression. We'll talk about some more business strategies. I hope maybe we can break this up into 2 parts. Who knows? I don't know. But
I kind of like it how it is.
It's pretty cool. Thank you for listening. Those who are here. I'm Christian Ortiz.
I love you guys. My name is Peter Pires.
We are out.
Peace.
Peace Easters.